So I got a new toy. It's the Rockwell Blade Runner X2 portable table saw, and I thought I'd do an unboxing of it so people can see what it is. For the cost, I think it's going to be decent for what I want. I don't really think you're going to be able to go building a house with this thing or whatever, but I think for the average everyday hobbyist, or any crafty DIY kind of stuff, I think this is going to work good. So let's get it open here and just see what we got. It's pretty lightweight. I know it weighs under 20 pounds, so that was another bonus that I felt. Let me get it down off the table so I can get it out of here. It definitely fits snug in the box. Okay, so it's in another box. It's going to be, I think, kind of like a jigsaw, an upside down jigsaw. What's the box say? Well, let's see what it says down here. You can do rip cutting, cross cutting. I don't have my glasses on. Curve cutting, miter cutting. It's got a miter gauge and a rip fence, a vacuum port, which I was pretty happy about. That's another reason why I got it, and a little blade storage cabinet, or slot, not really a cabinet. I will say it's at least packed halfway decent. Some of the stuff you get anymore, you just never know. Get this off the table. Okay, so what do we got? It's pretty lightweight. It's got this nice little handle space on it. Yeah, see, that even kind of looks like a jigsaw. Got our miter gauge here. It should go in here. Oh yeah, just slides right in. That's pretty handy. We've got all the packing. And it's already got like your inches made into it. I don't know how accurate they are until I measure it. I don't know. And looks like you just loosen those up. I hope you can see that. Get those loosened up until we can slide it on. And it's got little grooves on each of your inch markers. So that's pretty nifty. Let me just tighten it down on one of them. And what else we got? Not sure what that is. Leave it a little packet. Oh, it looks like my pack of blades. Instruction book. Your back piece. And this probably holds the back piece. Or that might be for the vacuum port. So yeah, that's for the vacuum port. I will go ahead and get all this put together, and then we'll do a little test cut. So I'll be right back. Okay, so it was super easy to put together. I mean, this just has two little bolts that goes down into it with two little plastic nuts that you put on it. It holds it really tight, but it's got a knob over here to tighten this down so that it doesn't move. So you can raise that up and get it out of the way. I believe what this little red thingy wop is to put on the end of your blades when you're inserting them. To me, that seems like a little overkill for that. I don't know. Guess I'll see when I go to insert one. But it came with a variety of blades. Let's see what we got here. It's upside down. Wood cutting. Looks like it's a coarse one. Metal cutting. Aluminum cutting. Ceramics. And wood cutting smooth. So we're going to use this one. And it's got here's something that's really neat. Go ahead and put this down. It's got, tighten that. It has this nifty little metal piece so that it can hang over the front of something. So when you're pushing your, whatever you're cutting back, you're not going to have a lot of slip with this, which it's not going to stay on this table. This is just a plastic table, but I figured to unbox it, it would work. And it's got this little blade holder here. So, kind of impressed with it so far. I'll loosen that up again, get it out of the way. And we'll insert our blade, which your blade should be facing forward. You push down, there's a little red button here that you push down and you pull back on. And that is how you insert your blade. And it just sits right down in there. You let go, and there's your blade. It's in there. It's got this little cover, I'm assuming just so that you can get in there to clean out any dust or whatever that might accumulate. And that should fit right down in there. Your blade's sticking out. And this you adjust to the height of whatever it is you're cutting. And you just tighten it with the knob over here. The little black thing I had is just an adapter for your vacuum port. And I'm not even sure if it'll fit mine. I have to, I guess, take a look at that and see. I might have been able to just use the other one. Yeah, mine fits in there, all right. But I don't think I have that in there tight enough. And it's probably going to be really loud when I do this. So, let's get this out of the way. And let's find something to cut. So excited about this. So excited. I really think this is going to be kind of nifty. We'll just use this little piece of, this is a piece of birch plywood. So, just stick it in there. And let our piece rest on it. Let's get it plugged in. That might be helpful. Yeah, I really think this is kind of a nifty little tool to have, especially because it's so portable. I mean, less than 20 pounds. It's nothing for me to, you know, to pick up or whatever. So, you know, it'd be I think a good tool for, well, I hate to say just guys, but, you know, guys are usually the ones going around with tools in their vehicles. But, you know, just to have you could throw it in your trunk, throw it in the back of your truck, whatever, and it's, you know, it's light. Hopefully it works. All right, so we're plugged in. We've got our everything locked down. Don't want anything moving around on us. Got that locked. Still moves freely. This is probably going to be loud, so sorry about that. good of a cut it did. Well, I have to say, it did cut it pretty nicely. I don't know how well you can see that, but I've got some, it's got some dirt going on there, but that's not its fault or whatever. But yeah, it cut that pretty smoothly. This is just birch ply. Let me see what else I've got laying around here. Here's a piece of, I think this might just be pine too. We'll give it a little cut and see how it does. Let's raise this back up. I think for ripping boards, it'll work too because, keep in mind, really the only place you have to be concerned about is this front section, because this, once you set your slide to whatever depth you want, and it gets past here, this back section really isn't such a concern. And I think this piece here is thin enough that if you're ripping down a board that is longer than this, you'll just be able to slide that right in the slot of your cut. That's my thoughts on it anyway. It might not work, but I think it will, because, and they even made that, kind of pointed here at the front. And I think that's why. It's so you can slide it on. Now, you could actually run this without having this, whole piece on here by removing that. And then I guess you could do whatever size board you want. But I don't know that I'll do that. And I probably will end up making a jig because I think this only goes to probably 8 inches. I'm going to guess that is. The measurements on it stop at 6, so. But I think if I'll make me a little jig, that way, most of the stuff width-wise, I would only need about 12 inches anyway, so I could easily make a jig and get longer than that. But let's see how well it does cutting this. Loosen that, didn't I? Yes, I did. It's a little thicker. We'll see how it goes. Everything's tightened down. Turn this back. And I have to say, the vacuum does seem to be doing really well, at least for that little tiny piece of wood. We'll see how it does on this bigger one. I'm going to actually get this slide out of my way. Oh, that's nice and smooth. Yeah, that's nice and smooth. So, I'm sure if you got into harder woods, your cut would be a little bit rougher. But, I mean, it has very little splintering on the edges. That's, wipe some sandpaper over that and it would be good to go. But yeah, pretty impressed with it. Pretty impressed. For the cost, I got it from Home Depot. I think I gave, I'd have to look to be sure, but I think I gave 129 bucks for it. And I think for everything it's capable of, because you could actually, it would kind of work like a bandsaw as well. Bandsaw, jigsaw. But you should be able to do, curved cuts and everything with it just by removing everything else that's in your way. And that might be when you'd want to remove, this piece, so that you could angle bigger pieces. Like if you were doing a yard ornament or something like that, a good size one, you should be able to do it on there. I personally would use my scroll saw for that, but, well, I guess how big it, depending on how big it was. But yeah, pretty impressed with it for the cost. And I went slow with it. I think it could have went through this a lot quicker. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my purchase. And the dust collection seems to work pretty well. I mean, my wood I stuck on there was dirty, but the blade change, that's fantastic. You know, being able to, get this out of the way. You know, just being able to raise that up. And pops it right out. Which is handy because you know how hot these blades can get. I don't know how thin of these blades you can get. I'm assuming it's about like jigsaw or bandsaw blades. So I did buy an extra thing of blades just because. And I don't know if any of them are any smaller than that or not. I'd have to actually look into that a little bit, but yeah, pretty happy with that. So there's my review on the Rockwell Blade Runner X2. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, especially for the price point and the variety of things it does. You know, miter cuts, it'll be so easy to make picture frames, you know, without going through a lot of headache and hassle setting something else up. So, and I don't think the accuracy is going to be a problem. I would recommend always measuring from your blade. You know, if you, like for instance, if you want 2 inches, measure out from your blade and then lock this down. And I'd be more concerned about, like I said, this front piece, because from your blade, you know, this area here is where you're going to get that 2 inches from. So anything back here doesn't really matter so much. I mean, I would still make it straight as possible with this, but yeah, pretty impressed.